So today we're going to cover a topic on Buddhism, and I'm going to basically give you an overview. I think we all like to see the purpose of Buddhism, to understand the importance of it. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Can someone tell me why we need to achieve nirvana in Buddhism?
It's so that we don't get born again and suffer again.
Exactly. Can you tell me a bit about the born again and or the rebirth and suffering? What do you know?
So I know that we live a life, but it never goes away. You always, depending on what good things and bad things you did, your next life is determined, and then you suffer through that life, and it keeps on going and going until you have to stop it, which is by following Buddhism.
Very good, very good. So it depends on the good action and the bad action that you do. It carries forward to your next life, isn't it? Well, I just want to talk about that. So what you see here, can you see my screen? Can you see this chart?
Yeah.
The 31 planes of existence, okay? Have you heard of this before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so okay, sorry, let me just help someone to log in, okay? Just bear with me.
Ranesh, Mama.
Yeah?
Could you send a copy of that to WhatsApp so we can see it, because it's quite small?
Exactly, no, I will. If I put it in the normal WhatsApp group, then you can access that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, will do. I'm just trying to find the password for this link. Did you have to enter a password for the session today?
No, we didn't have to.
Okay. I think he's trying to get someone else to log in. Can you send this link to that person? The password is embedded into the link.
Okay.
Okay. So while they're logging in, I want to zoom into this, okay? Just give them a couple of minutes to looking in, because it's very important to understand this high-level picture. Sorry about that today, guys. Okay, want to listen. Hi, Oli, can you hear us? Only, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. I had some difficulties getting on.
No problem. So today we're going to. You're welcome. Today we're going to talk about Buddhism at a highest level of Buddhism, where you don't really get to hear these kind of teachings in your daily or weekly Dhampasal. So I want you to understand why, you know, the high level picture of Buddhism. Okay, now basically Buddhism is trying to explain to us that we are in a never-ending cycle of rebirth. Okay, there's one more person trying to join. We'll wait for them as well. But I'm going to zoom into this so if you can read on. Okay, so this is basically what's known as samsara. Okay, there are 31, you know, realms or planes of existence where people are born and you know, die and born again. So the rebirth cycles happening in all of these 31 levels of realms. So 31 planes or realms, whatever you want to call it, is basically 31 worlds, if you like. Okay, where you know, all beings are born again and again. We all been to these worlds in our never-ending, you know, rebirth cycles, and we call it. There's a special word given to this called samsara. Have you heard that before? The word samsara. Samsara, yeah, it's a never-ending cycle of rebirth. Okay, so let's give a few more minutes. I think people are still joining. Hi, Taru.
Manish
Hello.
Mama.
Yeah.
Once you get into nirvana, isn't that where you stop your, you know, endless cycle of being born and dying?
Exactly. So nirvana is outside of these planes of existence. Okay. So these 31 realms is basically where, if you can just imagine that there are 31 worlds where we die and we born again, but this world of 31 levels or 31 planes, if you can multiply that by infinite number, so you can't really identify where you know, which set of 31 planes where, you know, we're going to be born again. But for simplification, that there are limitless number of 31 planes, if you like. Okay, 31 sets of these worlds. But for the sake of explanation, I'm just going to say there's 31 worlds where everyone get reborn again once they die, and we begin. So the first four at the bottom are the most painful. Okay, there's no pleasure there. And out of those four, Niraya or hells is where zero pleasure exists. And most beings, most animals and, you know, people get born there. And you know those 14 Akusal thoughts that we went through last week? Those 14 Akusal thoughts, which we talked about in here, these ones, they, if you constantly act on these thoughts, the chances are you'll end up born in one of these four worlds or realms. And most of us, our rebirths occurred in these four realms. But the first one is hell, and you can further subdivide hell into 8 levels, okay, depending on pain. And the second world is called animal world, you know, what we can see. These animals could be, you know, bacteria also, okay? So animals that you can see and can't see. And preta means that there are spirit worlds. I'm sure you heard of spirit worlds. And you get born as a being in these worlds when you exercise desire and anger. Those thoughts cause you to be born in those places. And asura means demons. So there are demonic worlds that exist, and most people who die in anger or hate, or whichever label you want to give it.
Ranesh, mommy.
Yes, darling.
Is this so? Are there like 4 different worlds in hell, or is this like all in one?
Yeah.
thing?
So the term hell is referred to the first world called Nirea. Can you see here?
Yeah.
Let me zoom in here. So
Yeah.
if I zoom in, so Nirea is where you call hell, and you can further divide that to 8 different levels of hells. Okay.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah, and they vary depending on the amount of pain you experience. But we in short we call all 8 hell basically. But the other 3 are 3 separate worlds.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we know some part of the animal world we can see when we on this earth. But and then Preta means spirit worlds, and Asura means spirit world as well. But Asura is mainly demons, and Preta is ghost. Okay, unhappy spirits. So those are the 4 realms or worlds that beings are born again. And above that is the human world. That's us. Okay, and above that there are 6 heavens. You can see Chatu Maharajika, Tavatin, Sayama, Tusita, Animanarati, Paramitta, Vasavati. So these 6 are heavens. They're above the human worlds. And each of these realms, each of these worlds have a different life expectancy. So you can't read it here, but it says here that one celestial day on the closest heaven is 50 human years. Okay? So 50 human years is 1 day for them. And the one above that, the Tavatins, 1 day is 100 human years, like that. And above that is 200 human years is 1 day. So basically all of these worlds, they have different life expectancy, and it's important to understand that we all been there. Okay, all of us been, even the ants that you see, countless times been born in all of these worlds, mostly in Nire or hells. So just to understand, so the 31 realms, 31 planes is categorized like this. So there's four basically hells, or well, one Nire, and then one animal world, one Preta world, and one Asura. Okay, then one above that is the Manusaloka, which is human world. The one above that is all 6 above that is heavens. So if you can think of it like this, the most painful worlds are at the bottom of the pyramid, and as they go higher, is more pleasure. So there's, in the human world there are some pleasure, but in heavens there's more pleasure than the human worlds. And above that, above the heavens, there are 16 Brahma worlds called Rupaloka. So in these 16 worlds, there are very mind do exist. Mind plus a very thin body. Okay, they have a floating body. So it's very light body they have. But in all of these worlds, your mind exists. So it is the mind that travels from world to world. That's what I want you to understand. Your mind, that we all have in us. When we die, we leave this body and go to one of these worlds, depending on our karma. So your mind doesn't die, and it constantly vibrates even within us, it constantly vibrates. And when, according to our karma, because we all have a life expectancy that get determined based on our karmic actions in the past. That life expectancy determines how long we live in a given world. So, if you harm a living beings, if you kill a lot of animals, your life expectancy drops. So that's why children die as soon as they're born, because they don't have enough life expectancy. So when you die, your mind basically get removed from this body and immediately go to another world in that next microseconds. So in these rupa loka, there's more happiness than heavens. Okay, there's 16 of them. But there are in this world, there's mind exists, and also very, very thin body exists. And the top 4 is arupa loka. Arupa means no body, like no physical body exists, just the mind. So those worlds, the life expectancy is like huge number, like infinite number. Okay, we can't really comprehend how long the life is, but when we born there, because there's no body, you only have the mind. You basically have a blissful state for infinite number of years, and when your life expires, then you can immediately go to hell again. So your life continues in this never-ending cycle of rebirths in all of these 31 planes. So that's called sansara in Pali. So when you hear the word sansara, it means never-ending cycle of birth. So Buddhasadhu has seen this infinite cycle of rebirths, and he found that the reason for our mind to be born again and again in these worlds as different forms, as humans, as deities or gods, or as Brahma, which is these 16 worlds, and as demons, as animals. So our mind travels from one world to another into these different life forms. The reason that we do that our mind binds to this never-ending cycle, is because of desire. It's the thought desire that becomes like a glue into from one thought to another, one existence of thought to another travels because of this desire. So he found a way to get rid of this desire, and that is through meditation. And it's primarily meditation, but there are 10 actions that you can do. So because some people want to get rid of this desire very slowly, because they like to be part of this human world and the temporary happiness. They want to experience that. And they want to gradually get rid of it, because they don't see the true nature of this world. So because of that, they constantly kind of get attached to things in this world. They don't see things for what they are. So because of that, they get attached, and then they get pain, and then they get detached, and then slowly attachment and detachment, pain and pleasure they experience on a temporary basis in the human world. And then when they die, they could go anywhere depending on the karmic action. But if you achieve what's called samadhi state of your mind, you should look this up on YouTube. Samadhi, the keyword is samadhi, samadhi. There are different meditation techniques to achieve that state, and that is the most blissful state, or blissful level of happiness you can achieve in this life. Okay, itself. So if you want to experience the happiness that's experienced in these worlds, this rupa loka and arupa loka, you can achieve that in the human world by meditating. Because when you meditate, what you're doing is you're silencing your mind. Okay, you're quietening your mind, so there's no thought. When the mind doesn't wander and is focused on one thing, whether it's breath or anything else that you focus on, depending on the meditation technique, your mind becomes silent and there's no thought exists. So when that happens, when you keep practicing that silence state, your mind will experience what's called samadhi. Samadhi is the most blissful experience where you connect at a spiritual level with the universe. So your body still exists, but you go beyond your senses now. You're connecting at a consciousness level. You're connecting at a mind level with the universe and with these Brahma worlds. So the beings in these Brahma worlds, this Rupa Loka, experience a very high level of blissful state called dhyana. Dhyana level 1, 2, 3, 4 state is experienced in this Rupa Loka. And you don't need to die and go there to experience it. You can experience it while you're in the human world by meditating. So when you reach meditation and samadhi state, like in the Hindu culture, they talk about this as third eye, okay? But in Buddhism, it's called samadhi, and in Buddhism, it takes you even higher level beyond samadhi called dhyana. There's dhyana 4 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you reach at first dhyana, then you can see you'll have the same blissful feeling as the beings in these first 3 worlds, like 12, 13, and 14. And you see this first jhana plane, second jhana. They call it jhana, but it's dhyana, D-H-A-N-Y-A. Okay. So first jhana is experienced by these beings in these 3 planes, and second dhyana is experienced by the next 3 planes, like third one and the fourth one. Okay, so when you reach fourth dhyana, you can have special powers. You can actually see these worlds with your mind. You can talk to the gods in these worlds. There's special powers that you can achieve, and this is the power of meditation. So people haven't experienced this level of blissfulness. If you do, that you will spend more time doing that, experiencing that blissful state. And the beauty is, you know how the karma works. The way the karma work is that when you achieve higher state of samadhi or dhyana like this, because it is the purest state of your mind, when you die, the more chance of you going to heaven or Brahma world is high. Okay, because your mind is, when you reach a state of samadhi or dhyana, then you don't experience anger. You don't entertain that. Okay, and so basically, my advice to you is, practice meditation while you're young, and become aware of your mind and the thoughts that you constantly experience in your mind, and try to quieten your mind. And I want all of you to experience samadhi. The samadhi state is the best happiness you can experience, beyond dhyana stages in this world. So don't go after the temporary happiness that the Western world teaches you, which is buying things, buying material objects. Those are not really happiness. But if you want to really experience happiness, then learn the Buddhist meditation technique and slowly practice them. We can, I can teach you that at a later session, but I want you to understand that the purpose of your life here is not to indulge in material world, okay? Not to indulge your body in this material world with temporary happiness, is to do meditation, achieve samadhi, achieve dhyana, and then when you go beyond dhyana, that's when you really learn the power of Buddhism, which is achieve nirvana. Okay, there are even higher kind of powers that you'll get when you practice Buddhist meditation. So I just want to give you an overview for today, and then we'll go into the different thoughts, because we talked about bad thoughts last time, and these are the bad thoughts. So the moha, ignorance, airekya, willingness to think wrong thoughts, anuttappa, boldness to think or wrong thoughts, uddhacca, restlessness, which is unable to focus on one thing, lobha, desire, greed, ditti, wrong view, perception, mana, ego, judging, tvesha, dislike, anger, issa, jealousy, maccharya, selfishness, which is of 5 types. These are all bad, okay? This gives you bad karma. And then kukucya, regret, tina and midda, laziness and weakness of the mind and the thoughts, vicikicca, doubt. So these thoughts, I want you to be aware, and when you experience these, I want you to either watch them until they disappear as an observer, or just focus on it and say, don't get attached, don't get attached, don't get attached. I don't want you to entertain them. Because when you entertain them, they create bad karma, and then, your karma account get filled with negative karma, which pulls you towards the hell side, those 4 worlds below human. But these are the 25 kusal thoughts, which I'll go through next weekend. These are the thoughts you should be cultivating all the time. These are the thoughts that you will cultivate through meditation. And when you do that, you will go to, if you don't achieve nirvana in this life, you'll be born in either heaven, Brahma worlds. There are 16 Brahma worlds, which is with body, and there's 4 Brahma worlds without body, just the mind. So you don't really want to be born in these 4 worlds without the body, because in that lifetime, if a Buddha is to be born, if you're in these worlds, Rupa, Loka, you can come down to earth and listen to his Dhamma and achieve nirvana that way. But if you don't have a body, you can't hear the sound. Okay, there's no ears. So therefore, you don't know, if 2-3 Buddhas been born in that lifetime. So it will lead to a never-ending cycle again. So you want to be born. If you, ideally you don't want to be born. That's the ideal state. But if you're going to be born, it's better to be born in the Rupa Loka or the heavens, or at least the human world. So you don't be born in these worlds. And it's those four akusal, it's those 14 akusal thoughts that cause you to be born in one of these 4 worlds at the bottom. So that's what I want to cover today. And before we go, let's practice one of each feelings on your knuckles. Any questions so far?
Yeah. You know how it says there are like apayas and like 4 bad worlds?
Yeah.
Isn't every single one bad because you're still surviving? Don't you want to literally kill yourself? Like, Not kill yourself, but like stop your life.
Well, thing is, you see, when you're born in Nirea, this hell, you don't born as a child, okay? So when we die, we're born as is over there, and then literally you constantly get a lot of pain, and you die, and then you are born immediately in the same size again, with the same age, and then you get pain again, then you die, and then you get born again. Until your life expectancy expires. Let's say you're there for 1,000,000 years, okay? In that 1,000,000 year life, there's more than that, okay? There's I think 140 billion years is a life expectancy in one of these hells. But in that life expectancy, in that lifetime, you're dying and born pretty much every minute, every second, because of the pain in some of these hells. So, but that's just an example. There are so many kind of painful experiences you go through. But unfortunately, most of the beings, whether you're Buddhist or not, it doesn't matter, because these are the universal laws, you see. So this is not based on Buddhism. Buddhism just tells you the way it is. Okay, so whether you're Christian, Hindu, Muslim, whatever religion you are, or if you're atheist, we all get born in these worlds. So it's like if someone tells you not to touch a hot stove because it's hot, and someone touch it because they don't believe in what other people say, they still get burnt. Like that, Buddha says that if you practice desire, if you don't get rid of your desire, you're guaranteed to be born in one of these worlds, depending on the karma that you did this life and the previous lives. Even if you've been a very good person this life, but you did a very bad karma, in your previous life, then that bad karma will still impact you on your last thought when you're passing away in your last breath. And because of that thought, you get born into hell, for example. So just to give an example of how the karma works, there's a story where a boy in a field, he saw a little insect, little fly on a buffalo. And just to, because he wanted to just experiment, he catched the fly, and then he wanted to kill it with a thorn that he saw from a tree nearby, from a plant nearby. So he took the thorn, like let's say like a rose thorn, okay, and just he took that out and he pierced that fly with a thorn. Now the karmic result of that is that he is to die for the next 500 of his rebirths. He is to die with a kind of a spear piercing through his bottom. Okay, so on his 500th death, okay, on this 500th rebirth, when he was dying, he became Arahat, because it was Buddha's time. Buddha knew that he collected enough good karma to achieve nirvana. So, but because of his past karma, he is to die in this lifetime also with a piercing through his bottom. But just before he died, Buddha has appeared in front of him and preached him the Dhamma so that he can achieve nirvana. But in his last life, he died like that also. So we mustn't take, even the insects are too small, by killing them intentionally will cause you to die in a similar way. That's an example of it. So that's why we have to do more good actions to save a life, to help someone, and not to entertain these negative thoughts, right? In order to be born in a good realm. Yeah? Yes, Buddha?
You know, like an ant. Let's just say you're walking and you accidentally step on the ant without no intention at all. Will you also be like, even if you don't, if you didn't do it without like purpose, will you still get like crushed by that 500 times?
No, I mean, you see that 500 is an
So I'm not saying
example.
that for 500. I'm just
Yeah.
saying as an example.
Yeah, I mean, the way it works is for you to break the 5 precepts, there are 5 rules that needs to be met in each one. Unless those 5 rules are perfectly met, you won't get the full karmic effect, but you do get some karmic effect. It means that your life expectancy might reduce. Okay, but if you in turn try to consciously save a helpless animal from death, right, from deathful experience, then that negative karma will be offset, like it will be cancelled out. Okay, so that's why we have to keep doing more good actions to cancel your negative karma. But there are 5 karmas that you cannot cancel. If you do this, you're guaranteed to be in hell for infinite number of lives, which is killing a Buddha, killing Arahat, which is a monk, right, who's attained a high level of development in his mind, and killing a mother, father, and also causing friction within the monk community. If you break the peace of the monk community, that's also considered very bad karma. So if you do these actions, you'll go straight to hell. It doesn't matter how much good you do. And I'm sure you heard of Devadatta story. He was so angry with the Buddha and he even tried to kill him by throwing a big stone, right? As he was walking, and another stone came to stop that automatically, but a little piece of that stone hurt Buddha's one of the fingers and start bleeding, and because of that karma, he's still in hell. Okay, so that's according to the Dhamma. So I just want you to, that's why I went through these negative thoughts that cause all of these negative karma, so that you can be aware, because we all feel these, okay? And becoming aware of them is the first thing. And then we have to slowly start detaching from them. Slowly start not paying attention to them. We should be paying attention to these 25 good thoughts. Okay, so we'll go through the next weekend. I don't think we can cover all 25, but we'll probably cover 10 next weekend. Was that interesting for you today? Have you learned something?
Yes, we learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. Because I didn't want to cram too much in, but I'm sure you can grasp what we covered today. So that's the reason that you're born as a human being, because only as a human being you can meditate and develop your mind. Okay, and I want you to know that we all been born countless number of times in all of those 31 realms, but mostly in hells. But our good karma has given us perfect, bodily kind of parts, and a mind which is sharp enough to develop further through meditation. So what we're doing as studies and jobs and this lifestyle is, if you can just imagine, like when you're playing a game, those are some of the rules of the game to survive. But the ultimate purpose of being born is to develop your mind to a level where you can achieve nirvana in this lifetime or in a future lifetime. So with that summary, let's do a quick, do you have time for anchoring, three feeling anchoring exercise, or do you want to go? I mean, if you want to go, you can go, but if you want to stay, we can carry on.
I've got time.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yep.
So as I said, if you need to go for other things, then you can. So let's do 3 anchoring. Okay, so first feeling is happiness, second one is confidence, and third one is love. So I want you to just focus on a time, or remember a time when you felt happy. and step into that memory. If you can turn your cameras on so I can see your knuckles, so I know where you are. And yeah, so think of a time when you felt happy, and step into that memory and hear what you heard and see what you saw, and really feel the feeling of happiness right now. And allow that feeling to grow and grow. And try to spread that feeling throughout your body. And once it reaches 9 or above, then press that first knuckle. And only let it go when you reach below 9. Have a go. When you're done, nod your head, please. Great. So think of what you ate for lunch yesterday. Don't say it. Just want to break the pattern. Okay. Now let's focus on the second one, which is confidence. So think of a time when you felt confidence, and keep your body language in the same way, in a confident way, and really try to connect with the feeling of confidence. And step into that memory and hear what you heard and see what you saw, and really feel the feeling of confidence right now. And allow the confidence to grow within you. And if you can't think of a memory, then repeat the word confidence. And really double the feeling, triple the feeling. And as it grows, you know what to do. Allow the feeling to grow and grow. And remember how your body language was. Try to replicate that. Take your time, and when you're done, let me know. Excellent. So if you're done? Yeah, great. So think of what you ate for dinner last night. Don't say it. Just to break the pattern. Now let's go into love, okay? So this time, think of a time when you felt completely loved, and step into that memory. Try to connect with that memory right now, and see what you saw at the time, and make those pictures bigger and brighter in your mind, and more vivid in your mind, and hear what you heard at the time, and make those sounds bigger and louder in your mind, and double the feeling. Allow the feeling to grow and grow. And as I count to 10, I want that feeling to double every time. 1. Allow the feeling to double within you. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And just allow it to grow, and once it reaches 9 or higher, then press. Take your time. When you're done, let me know. Excellent. So that concludes today's lesson. Do you have any questions so far from what we've done? We covered a lot. Yeah. So the idea is, if someone asks you what's the purpose of life, according to Buddhism, is to achieve nirvana. Okay, and these worlds, I mean, it's good if you know more about them, like the life expectancy and what goes in, what kind of pleasure and pain goes through them, so you can get motivated. But the idea is, just know that when we die, what we carry is our mind. If you can imagine our mind as a vibration of 3 stages like this. So beginning, middle, and end. That's one vibration. There's another beginning, middle, and end, which is like connected. There's infinite number of vibrations, and that's how our mind works. And all that means is when we die, our vibration get attached to another body in one of these realms. So where it goes depends on the karmic results. So I wish for that vibration to end for all of you in this lifetime and achieve the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. So with that profound thought, we should end the session today, and hope to meet you all next Saturday to continue on the 25 Kusal thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
See you next
you.
week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.